I think it was, when was it? It was a couple of days ago. Um, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State, he made some comments, and the gist of those comments were that he said that former President Goodluck Jonathan held a gold medal for corruption. He held a gold medal for corruption. Now, I've made it a career to follow facts. I've made it, for my time in public life, I try to follow the facts. Because if you focus on what cannot lie, you will always end up on your feet. You will always end up standing up on your feet. And what cannot lie are the facts. Now, Bola Tinubu says that former President Jonathan holds the gold medal for corruption, and President Muhammadu Buhari is doing well. He said so at the villa when they were launching a book on Muhammadu Buhari's administration's achievements. I don't know if that should be a very slim book, achievements. But let's put it this way. You and I, we agree that Abdul Rashid Maina was corrupt. He's one of the most corrupt Nigerians that ever was. You and I agree. That's the guy who stole the pension funds. You and I agree that he was corrupt. Now, who fired that man? Former President Jonathan fired him, dismissed him, as a matter of fact, from the civil service. Now, he was fired and then dismissed from the civil service, and he ran away, so he was declared wanted by the Jonathan administration. He was declared wanted. Now, we have since found out, at the Senate of the National Assembly, they are doing some probes, and the Attorney General of the Federation, appointed by Muhammadu Buhari, Abubakar Malami, he appeared before that probe, and we found out that the Attorney General of the Federation met with Abdul Rashid Maina in Dubai, met with him. Now, not only did he meet with him, they had some discussions, and before you could say anything, the man was back into the country. He was reinstated into the civil service. He was given double promotion. And then he became the Director of Human Resources in the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Now, how can you say Jonathan, who fired this man, who stole so much money, chased him out of the civil service, dismissed him, and then declared him wanted, has a gold medal in corruption? Then the Buhari administration that sent the Attorney General of the Federation to Dubai to meet this same man, to arrange with him to come. Because don't forget, the family, the Maina family, they gave a press conference 3 weeks ago, I believe. Was it 3 weeks ago, a month ago? And they said that the Buhari administration invited Abdul Rashid Maina back into the country. After they gave that conference, the next day, the presidency denied that the president did not know anything about it. And then eventually, I think 4 days after the event, the head of service, Mrs. Oyo Ita, her memo was leaked. And in that memo, she said that the president was aware. And how did she know? Because she told him verbally, by mouth. She approached him after the, I'm sorry about that, my phone fell. She approached him after the Federal Executive Council meeting. And she told him about the whole affair, and she warned him not to reinstate this man. Now, this man was reinstated by Muhammadu Buhari. And then they are saying that the man who fired him, who dismissed him, has a gold record in corruption, but the man who brought him back does not have a gold record in corruption. Now, you think about that. See, you and I can agree that Transparency International is the only body worldwide that is officially recognized as a judge of who is corrupt and who is not corrupt. Now, Transparency International, 2014, Nigeria made her best improvements in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index, released every year. In 2013, we were number 144 most corrupt country. And then in 2014, the next year, we made a positive improvement by 8 places, and we became number 136. That's since Transparency International was founded in 1995 to today. That is Nigeria's best performance ever. We made progress by 8 points. And they took into account that Jonathan fought the corruption in the fertilizer procurement scheme of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, and that he used eyepiece. Eyepiece is fingerprint technology. He used eyepiece to weed out 50,000 ghost workers, and that Within 2 weeks, he fired his ministers who were either accused of corruption in the case of Stella Odua, and then or accused of conflict of interest. So these are facts. These are facts. Now, Muhammadu Buhari has been president now for 2.5 years. Have we made any improvements in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index? No. The facts are there. We have still remained in the same place where Jonathan left us. Because you see, Transparency International, they don't deal with media propaganda, media trial. They deal with facts. How many people have been convicted? How many APC people have been arrested? The Bola Tinubu that is talking himself, is he somebody that you can use as a poster boy for corruption? Where did he get his money? Where did he go to school? There are judgments against him. Look, I don't want to go into that because I don't want to be accused of. Let me just focus on the facts. And you're saying that Jonathan is corrupt? Look, Jonathan, when Jonathan handed over to this administration, 29th of May 2015, Nigeria was owing 12 trillion naira. Now, 2.5 years later, Muhammadu Buhari has almost doubled what we are owing. We are now owing 20 trillion. That is an increase of 70% in just 2 years. In just 2 years, now we are owing 20 trillion. What has been achieved by this administration? In the 2.5 years that Muhammadu Buhari has been president, he has actually budgeted a total of 14.5 trillion. In fact, actually, if you now add the latest budget of 8.6 trillion, it's going to take it to about 22 trillion. That is more than what Jonathan budgeted in his 5 years in office. And you can see what Jonathan achieved. Jonathan built 12 universities all over Nigeria, including the only federal university in Katsina State. Jonathan built the total radar coverage of Nigeria project so that Nigeria is covered by radar. Jonathan built Omotosho 2 power station, and then he built the Afam power station for $600 million. Jonathan, restored the Nigerian railway services. In Lagos, there are diesel engine trains, air-conditioned diesel engine trains. I'm sure some of you have entered them. Jonathan built the Kaduna-Abuja superfast railway so that it enables you work in Abuja and live in Kaduna. So, what has Muhammadu Buhari achieved with all what he has been, all this budget that he's done, and with all the loans that he's taken? The other time, it was found out that the group managing director of NNPC awarded $25 billion worth of contracts without due process. What has happened to him? No probe. Nobody has been fired. Nothing. And they just want us to forget about the whole incident. And then they are saying Jonathan has a gold medal in corruption. Now, you think about that. How long did it take for the president to fire Babache Lawal? It took 10 months. And the reason why he was even fired was because of the pressure of people like me, people like Charlie Boy, people like Deji Adeyonju, people like Femi Fanika, they put on him. And you are saying that Jonathan has a gold record on corruption? Look, we have to focus on facts. If you don't focus on facts, if you want to focus on propaganda, these people are just going to take Nigeria. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Bola Tinubu said that if Jonathan had been in power, Boko Haram would have overrun Nigeria. Now, you and I will agree that the only body in this world that is recognized officially to gauge terror is the International Institute for Economic and Peace. International Institute for Economics and Peace. Every year they release the Global Terrorism Index. Now, in 2014 to 2015, they said Nigeria was the 4th most terrorized country in the world. The 4th most terrorized nation in the world, right? Now, on the 15th, I think the 15th was 3 days ago, on the 15th of November, they released the 2017 Global Terrorism Index, and they said Nigeria has deteriorated. We're under Jonathan, we were the 4th. Now we are the 3rd most terrorized country in the world. The 3rd. Now, these are facts. You can Google it. You can check it out. The International Institute for Economics and Peace. Now, they are saying that under this administration, Nigeria is the 3rd most terrorized nation in the world. There have been more Boko Haram suicide attacks and more Boko Haram killings in the 2.5 years of Jonathan than in the 5 years, in the 2.5 years of Buhari, than in the 5 years where Jonathan was president. Look, under Jonathan, in 2015, elections held in every local government of Borno State. Last month, the United Nations pulled out of certain local governments of Borno because they said they cannot work there in peace. We know that this administration sent NNPC engineers and University of Maiduguri lecturers to go and look for oil in Lake Chad. Boko Haram killed all of them. And so what is Bola Tinubu talking about? Bola Tinubu should stick to the facts. On the 7th of March 2014, Jonathan said something, and I'm going to quote it. He said, "I am loyal to Nigeria's economy. I don't have any bank account or property abroad." Can Bola Tinubu say that? Can President Muhammadu Buhari say that? They've been probing Jonathan for 2.5 years. What have they found linked to Jonathan? Have they found any accounts? I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about President Jonathan as a human being. What have they found connected to him? And you are saying that Jonathan, look, under Jonathan, our economy was growing. Is our economy growing right now? 26 Nigerian women, they died trying to cross the Mediterranean to escape poverty. Why? Because the International Food Policy Research Institute, every year they release the Global Hunger Index. They said Nigerians are now more hungry now than they were under the Jonathan administration. So what is Bola Tinubu talking about? Because he wants to kiss President Muhammadu Buhari's boots, he wants to lick his boots, because he's thinking that that's how he's going to get what he wants. If we are not prepared to say the truth in this country, if we are not prepared to say the truth in Nigeria, what's going to happen is that our children are going to inherit doom. Look, the 20 trillion, in just 2.5 years, President Muhammadu Buhari has added 8.5 trillion to Nigeria's foreign debt. Who is going to pay it? President Muhammadu Buhari is 75 years old. If God spares his life, maybe he might live for maybe 30 more years or 105. Is he going to pay this loan? It is going to be you and I and our children that will pay this loan. The economy is crumbling. The other time, somebody in government was complaining that the economy has crashed. Why would the economy crash? If you are driving your car and you are constantly looking backwards, you are not looking forward, aren't you going to have a crash? This administration, instead of claiming the future, instead of progressing, instead of driving Nigeria forward, they keep on looking backward and blaming Jonathan for this, blaming Jonathan for that. How would the economy collapse? So I just needed to address with facts these allegations that Bola Tinubu made against President Jonathan, because Jonathan is a shy person. He's a gentle person, and people are taking advantage of his personality. If people like me that worked with him as a spokesman cannot speak and say the truth because we are afraid of EFCC or because we are afraid of being arrested, why should I be afraid of that? We are going to stay here and our country is going to be destroyed, and Renomoku will keep quiet. I'm not going to do that. So I've told you these facts. Please Google them, go and verify them so that you see that I've spoken the facts to you. God bless you and God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye for now.